we always talk about what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do to create your ideal life? That's why we call this the Ideal Life and Money Academy. So we're always pushing you, always wanting you to create that ideal life for yourself. So what does that actually look like? How do you take those first steps toward that ideal life? And Mike, you had a conversation just recently, and we have to address here. You have some Japanese writing behind you. Where are you, and what are you doing?
Yes, that's it. Oh, this side. I don't even know what it says, but I am in Japan. Elle and I have been here for weeks, and we're really enjoying it. The snow has showed up even today, and the season is just a few weeks away. And what I mean by that is snow season. And a lot of people come and do those seasons around the world, right? You got the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. They're opposite winters. So people come in for 3 to 6 months and just really fully immerse. And I've already met some of the travelers and the people that do this. And I had a conversation related to what we're saying, living your ideal life. And in particular, this lady was had a dream of what her retirement was going to be. But that's 40 years for her. She's in her early 20s. I said, well, what are you doing? She's going, so she's choosing, she's been programmed to think that she needs to go to college. So she's going to college online right now to go and do this to be a lawyer. I think that's kind of the dream she's being pushed into being a lawyer to make good money. But her retirement dream was to own a surf shop at the beach. Now, you don't have to be a lawyer to own a surf shop. Now, there's things that you do learn in those 4 to 6 years that you're in school for whatever you go to school for. But if you already know what you want to do in your 60s or 50s or 40s, just go do that now. That's what Jason and I are all about.
Yeah. And I think particularly finding a way. Now, we're not talking about that you should never go to school or that school is useless or any of that stuff, right? I mean, there are certain things, if you did want to become a lawyer, you have to go to school. If you want to become a doctor, you have to go to school, right? There's certain things. But if you have this retirement dream of owning your own business and starting a surf shop, that requires zero degree, zero money toward that formal education. You're going to have to go get life education in order to start a business and to create that kind of surf shop. I had the same kind of conversation in a different way with a young adult, mid 20s, out of college now, has a college education, and he was looking through career options, jobs, right? Like trying to find a job in a new city and all these things. And he said, "Oh, well, I'm not qualified for these jobs over here because they pay too much money." I, I, I don't think I necessarily agree with that. I think that if you have the skill set, you have the qualifications, you have the drive, you have the ambition, go apply to those things. And maybe you are underqualified, but maybe that's just a higher paying job than you're used to. Like what Mike was just saying, what you're conditioned to think is after school, I get an entry level job, and then I move up, and then I move up, and then I can quote unquote uh, realistically be paid the six-figure income. But if you have skills, what if they just want to pay you really well for those skills? So go apply for those things. Go after your dreams. Don't limit yourself by your mind, by the things that people tell you that are supposed to, right? You're supposed to go to college. You're supposed to have a family. You're supposed to buy a house. You're supposed to, all of these things. The shoulds and the supposed tos will totally limit your life. Mike, have you had more conversations like this?
Well, I also want to be clear on when we do have these conversations. We're not telling you not to go to school in this example, but I am saying don't go to school to be a lawyer if you want to own a surf shop. But
Mm.
what, in addition to that, I'm not telling you to go out and do that business today. My advice was go find someone with a surf shop, start there,
Mm.
work in the surf shop, and then get promoted, have more responsibilities, become a manager, help that person out. And you may be given the surf shop over time. You may buy that surf shop. You will learn, like Jason was saying, real life experience. You're going to learn. Let's learn in the surf shop, in the thing that you want to do. learn what to do, what not to do, and what you can do better.
Yeah. And that's why it is fundamental and key that you understand yourself and know what you want your life to look like. And that's why we always start any of our coaching, any of our courses, any of our programs. We always start with what do you want your ideal life to look like? I don't care where you are. I don't care what your skin color is. I don't care what your education is. I don't care any of that stuff. I care about what you want your life to look like, create that life, start building that life, like Mike was talking about. Maybe it is an entry level job at a surf shop to start. But if your end goal is to own a surf shop, you need to be putting those pieces in place so that you can actually learn what you need to learn in order to get to this place. It might be 2 years, 3 years, it might be 10 years, it might be 20 years, but you are working your way toward that thing. But don't let everybody else tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing. Go after that. Go after it. And then ask yourself, what is stopping me from this? What is actually stopping me from this? I think that's kind of what you are having that conversation with. Like, why don't you go and do that? And then somebody would have all these excuses and reasons and all that of like, well, I don't have money, or I don't think I can do it, or that job pays too much, like in my example of my friend. Like, what is stopping you? And then really answer that question.
I agree. So many excuses. Even the life that I'm living, right? We're in Japan. I have never snowboarded before. I am surrounded by nothing but snow and snowboarders. I am going to be fully immersed and I'm going to learn how to snowboard this winter. Right? I didn't come over to Japan on a week or 2 week holiday to learn. I'm fully immersed. I'm going to be here for months and I'm going to learn.
Yeah.
Then I get to make the decision if I like it. If I like it, I'll come back. If I don't have to do it again. But
Yeah.
now I will know.
Yeah, that I think that's another thing that we can kind of come full circle on with this whole idea of what do you want to do with your life, what's in your way, what's stopping you, all that. It truly is. It doesn't have to be permanent, right? If you want to go in your example, right, your client, your friend, if they want a surf shop and they start doing the steps and putting those pieces in place, and then somewhere along the line they decide, you know what? I thought I wanted to do that. But after I've done it, a little bit of this, I kind of don't want to do that anymore. That's not my dream anymore. They can literally stop and pivot and say,
Yes.
I want to do something else. I do want to become a lawyer or an attorney. Now I can go to school, or they can continue down that road, or they can continue a different road, start a new one, right? It's
Mhm.
always about like that. And that's something that I discovered. I was in school, had a major, started taking classes. My first class in that major, I realized I don't want this major anymore. I thought I did, but when I got into it, it was like, no, I don't want to take any more classes because the way that they're painting the picture of what this career looks like is not me. So I jumped ship and I changed my careers. I changed my careers 4 times in college, right? And that's just sometimes what happens when you have to try it out. But I allowed myself the permission to change, that everything is temporary, nothing is permanent. You have the choice to change. And I think that's really, really key when we're thinking about this. There's no one path for any of us.
Yeah, and I want to add to that just to finalize is as well. Don't wait 40 years to think you have a dream and then realize it's not there.
Mm.
Let's make sure that it is that dream and go make it happen now, not in 20, 30, 40 years from now.
Yeah. So as we wrap up here, I want you to put in the comments the one thing, the next step, not the whole future has to be laid out. What is the next step that you need to do today or tomorrow or at least this week in order to get on the path to where you want to go? Not where you're supposed to go or where you should be going because everybody told you, but where do you want your life to look like? And then boom, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to get this education. I'm going to read this book. I'm going to take this course, like whatever it might be. What is that one step? Comment below. And we'll respond and we'll celebrate with you and we'll guide you along the way. Mike, is there anything else that you want to share?
No, if you are interested in what we have, make sure you're dropping into the ILMA material. If you're just getting started on the budget, if you're looking to figure out what you want to do in retirement, the membership is for you as well. Be sure to click on the links below.
Yeah. We'll see you in another video.